How's it going, everyone? Sir Douglas of the Argos Fancast here, and today, upon sober review, Toronto 20, Saskatchewan 19, and now that Toronto won the game, everybody wants the Rouge band. I'll explain why. We're talking attendance on this one. I don't like to talk attendance, but in this case, we kind of have to because it was probably the biggest crowd that the Argos have seen for a non-playoff, non-home opener. So just a run-of-the-mill regular season game that they've had in quite some time. Over 19,000 came through the gates at BMO Field. To the CFL fans that came, thank you very much. Another big thing, because I mean, if you go on social media, everyone demonizing Chad Kelly for what he did, and well, you can't really. Well, he served his time. Let the man play, and he actually got a warm reception by the crowd at BMO Field. Much to the, of course, if you go on the CFL's subreddit, guess what? Everyone wants him crucified. If you go on excrement, most people want him crucified. If you go on Facebook, most people want him crucified. Guess what? He's not going to. He got a fairly warm reception at BMO. I mean, let's face it. Everyone who said they were going to boo, they either didn't show up or got caught in traffic or they just weren't loud enough to be heard. And he got a good warm reception for the first time that this is a man that's finally coming back to the field. But for the first quarter, he didn't do a hell of a lot. There was a hell of a lot of rust on him. But then it was Saskatchewan that drew first blood. Brett Lothar got a field goal, took an early 3-0 lead. Argos had a 2 and out, and then Saskatchewan took advantage of the fact that Toronto had a 2 and out. Frankie Hickson had a great run, and then Trevor Harris found Keyshawn Johnson. Not that one. Not that Keyshawn Johnson. A different Keyshawn Johnson to make it a 10-0 lead. Like I said, the Argos didn't. Second quarter, pretty much more of the same. Argos still kind of working their way through it. Of course, with Chad Kelly there, it's gonna kind of throws the rhythm of everything off, and the fact that he hasn't played for 11 weeks, so he's gonna have a bit of rust on him. Brett Lothar in the second quarter got another field goal, making it a 13-0 lead. Argos had one in the following drive. Argos had one good pass, kind of fizzled out. The O-line, however, kept it together. But Saskatchewan then had a pass, and it was picked off by Deshaun Amos, and he was inches off a pick six. And I mean, it was pretty much academic from that point. Cameron Dukes comes in, quarterback sneak, 13-7 lead for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saskatchewan on their next one got a 2 and out. And the Argos started to find their stride in the second quarter a little bit. Chad Kelly started finding his targets. There was an accidental DPI that gave Toronto a new set of downs, and Kadeem Carey made no mistake. He ran it in for a touchdown. However, Command Center, one of the most maligned organizations of this past couple of weeks, intervened, said it wasn't a touchdown. Ball was down, but his elbow was actually down just before crossing the plane of the goal line, making it a 3rd and goal on the 1. And Cameron Dukes couldn't breach the plane of the goal line either. So it was 6 points left on the board there. But I mean, Saskatchewan kind of started on their own 1 yard line. So it's what I call the my typical Madden strategy. Saskatchewan took control, but the Argos got it right back. An immediate interception by Benji Franklin of all people. A lot of people, I know a lot of people were crapping on him early in the season, but but it seems like he's starting to find his stride. Looks like he's starting to get better. So good for him. And then immediately right after that, Chad Kelly finds DeMonte Coxey in the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. Command center's calling again. Bring, bring. Hello. Yeah, incomplete. Now, at this point, I know I was losing my shit in the stands, and a lot of other fans were losing their shit in the stands too. I mean, because the thing is, they didn't show, if I remember correctly, they didn't show the replay where DeMonte Coxey had dropped the ball. And yes, he did drop the ball. DeMonte Coxey, he had it. It came out. It very clearly hit the turf from the one angle that they showed. They did not show this angle in the stadium, if I remember correctly. They did not show this angle in the stadium, so the fans were absolutely, quite frankly, they were ready to riot at this point. I wouldn't be surprised. And then, of course, the Dinwiddie meme came into effect, where he challenged. Command Center said, "Nope, you're not getting this. You are not getting this one. Sorry, my lad. You are not getting this one." So, I don't know if he wanted another look at the touch. I don't know if he wanted another look at the touchdown, because if you're he was on the field. You only had the stadium replays to go by. You didn't have the TSN replay or the TSN angle to show you that DeMonte Coxey had dropped it. But of course he was also looking for DPI. He wasn't going to get that either. I think at this point the command center said, no, he's not getting this. Just whatever. So Liram Hiralahu came in, cut the lead to 3, making it 13-10, and that was pretty much the end of the half at this point. I know there was a lot. I know I was quite angry at the command center at this point, but upon sober review, as the whole point of this segment is, they got it right. They actually got it right. It was the referees who got it wrong. So, c'est la vie, I guess. Going into the third quarter, started out kind of slow once again, but Brett Lothar got another field goal, making it a 13-16 lead for Saskatchewan. And then on the Argos' next possession, Chad Kelly finds DeMonte Coxey in the red zone. Sorry, the double blue zone. I always like calling it that. So that was to get the first and goal. Finds Coxey again. Second and goal. Deontay McMahon tried to get in there. He was denied. It was third and goal. And then another pass nearly picked off. So they couldn't breach the goal line for a second time. That's 12 points left on the board. Then we go to... Then once again, Saskatchewan, 2 and out. And then Argos got back to work. And Chad Kelly was finding DeMonte Coxey a lot, because he had a gorgeous 53-yard catch to get them close, and because they were pretty deep in their own zone at the time. Chad Kelly going for a flea flicker this time. He was going to the end zone, but it was of course, nope, he didn't catch it, incomplete. So start in the fourth quarter, Liram Hiralahu had to settle for the field goal. 16-13. Saskatchewan still leads. And then Saskatchewan's first drive of that quarter was a 2 and out. Punted it. Now they were doing a very good job avoiding Janarian Grant this week, as opposed to the last game where he took it back to the house. Not last week, but to the last game where he took one to the house. In this case, he actually had a good return, and there was a face mask on the play, adding another 15 yards. And then Chad Kelly found Tavares Daniels finally, because, in this game, Tavares didn't seem to have a good game. He was dropping a couple of balls, but in this case, Chad Kelly was able to find him finally. Got into the red zone again, and then first and goal. Nope. Second and goal. Tried to go wide. Nope. Third and goal. Kadeem Carey. Nope. Another turnover on downs. And that's 18 points left on the board. That is a... I'll get into that later. But I mean, it was deep. Once again, it was another field position thing where Saskatchewan had to play from the shadow of their own goalposts. Frankie Hickson gave him a little bit of breathing room. The defense, however, had a nice big meaty tackle for loss, and then leading to a punt. Argos drive leads to a Liram field goal. It's now 16-all. So yes, we're tied up. Let's see. Yeah, then Saskatchewan's next drive, Trevor Harris actually found Emelis. And he stayed up, but I mean, it was kind of an ugly tackle to bring him down, in my opinion. But it wasn't illegal, but it just looked. I mean, whatever works, right? But I mean, it just looked a little ugly to me. After that catch, the drive stalled, leading to a Brett Lother field goal. Saskatchewan retakes the lead, 19-16. And then with about in and around the 3-minute warning, Toronto's next drive. Not only did Chad Kelly get clobbered, he got picked off, as the haters cheered, to the joy of all the haters, that happened. So, but the Argo D stood tall. Saskatchewan had a 2-and-out. Argos then took the ball back, started to move the ball. We're now getting into 3-down territory as the game is starting to get closer to the end. Starting to move the ball. They were able to get once again get in the field goal range. Liram Hairolahu makes no mistake again. Tied a game at 19 apiece as we head to the final 2 drives of the game. So on the Argos kickoff. Saskatchewan returned it. There was a holding call on it, so Saskatchewan had to take the ball from their 8-yard line. Trevor Harris on this one, he gets sacked, and he did absolutely everything he could to make sure that it wasn't a safety. He did Ralph Hawley tried his best, but couldn't get him behind the goal line. So I mean, to the Saskatchewan 1. So on the second down, Trevor Harris threw the ball and he found a receiver. He found a receiver to get a first down. However, prior to the snap, the bench called a timeout. So the Argos get a massive break here because I don't know what the hell the Saskatchewan bench was thinking. It completely negated the gain that they got, and it would have been a first down. It would have kept them alive, and it probably would have changed the game and probably would have led to overtime at that point. But so once again, so they had to run the play again. This time it didn't go as well as they'd hoped. It was an incomplete pass. And Saskatchewan had to punt from their end zone to the Argos with 26 seconds left on the clock. Janarian Grant got it to the 36-yard line, so instantly into field goal range with 16 seconds on the clock. Kadeem Carey did a run, centered the ball. And this is where things get this is where it's like, okay, it's walk-off time. And sure enough, it was, because Liram didn't need to be accurate here. I mean, it would have been great, but he didn't need to be, because he absolutely put his laces through the ball. He put his laces through it, and it was nearly through the uprights as a field goal, but it swung wide left, and it was high enough so their receiver couldn't bat it out of the air to prevent it going through the end zone. But even then, like, it would have been an even wilder finish if they had did that. But unfortunately, they couldn't do it. A lot of people confused in the stadium, but the Argos actually win on that. And if you don't know, in Canadian rules, when you kick a field goal, once the ball is off the boot of the kicker, it is now on the opposing team. It's now the onus is now on the opposing team to get it out of the end zone. So in this case, if you just absolutely hammer the ball and get it through the end zone, basically if you put it through the uprights, it's 3 points. If you boot that ball and it goes straight through the end zone and they can't get it out, that's 1 point. So the Argos win it 20-19. Task failed successfully. And I guess that's the reason why they want the Rouge ban in it. And in most cases, I have a feeling it's because it's Saskatchewan who lost on it. But I mean, I know the Argos have lost on it too. So you live by it and you die by it. You live by the Rouge, you die by the Rouge. That's all there is to it to me. Chad Kelly, he actually did pretty good when it comes to yardage, but it's not going to get any easier. Not this coming week. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this on a Sunday. We're 24 hours away from one of the biggest games outside of the Grey Cup of the year, the Labor Day Classic. And as always, it's against our forever foes, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, down the QEW at Tim Hortons Field. Chad Kelly is probably going to be starting this game, and this is going to be a game where this is going to be probably the most hostile crowd he has ever seen. I am fully expecting here that there's going to be a lot of abuse flung the way of not only the guys on the field, but those wearing double blue in the stands. That is one big reason why I'm not going, because every time I go, I always end up getting. I mean, it's one thing to get chirped at, right? That's fine. I don't mind that. I always say, I've been insulted by I've heard worse from better people, and it's true. I usually have, but sometimes sometimes lines are crossed, and I know there was actually one Hamilton Tiger Cat fan, Wally Walker, whom I like, and he actually came out there. And not as to kind of say, don't be assholes. Please don't be assholes to the fans that are coming in. By all means, and I'm the same way. I'm the same way in this case. Leave it on the field. Don't give it to the guys in the stands because they're just there to cheer on their team. But I mean, let's face it, emotions plus alcohol equals, there's going to be fights. So just as a warning to Argo fans, and just as a message to them, if I were you guys, after the game is over, please wait at least 30 minutes before leaving the stadium for your own safety. Please wait like half an hour before, so at least that way all the unsavory elements go away before you guys can start making your way home. To me that just seems prudent. But anyway, enough of me being all doomy and gloomy in that case. Getting on to the game. One of the keys to victory, obviously, Chad Kelly was going to have to wear earplugs. He's going to have to wear earplugs, and he's going to have to wear blinders, because this is like I said, this is going to be the most hostile crowd he's going to face this season, because they are going to be utterly relentless in trying to get under his skin and trying to get him riled up. He's just got to shut it all out, and he's just got to shut it all out. And he's got to do what he's got to do, and that's school these guys, school that defense. Another thing, it's always going to be a key to the game for me. So, Chad Kelly, gets all zen. He's all nice. Next thing you know, going to take the crowd out of it early. Trust me, I would love to see like 35 points in the first quarter just to shut him up. I would love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. 21 possible, but if you get the crowd out of if you got to get that crowd out of it early. It's similar to any game when you play against Hamilton. Get the crowd out of it early. If you do that, they lose that home. They're going to lose that home advantage because like I said, this is Hamilton's Grey Cup here. They don't give a flying they don't give a flying monkey about the rest of the season. As long as they beat the Argos on Labor Day, they don't care if they win the cup at this point. I mean, this is going to be a very desperate team because it's the biggest rivalry, and two, they're on the verge of getting eliminated. A Toronto win will not only close the gap on Ottawa to only 1 point going into Ottawa next week, going into Ottawa next Saturday, but you're pretty much put Hamilton behind a very, very large 8-ball with a record of 2-10. So you have the ability to potentially eliminate Hamilton from the playoffs tomorrow. So, like I said, Chad gets all zen. Take the crowd out of it early. And for the love of God, guys, finish the freaking drives. You left 8. We should have beat Saskatchewan by a lot more last Thursday. You left 18 points on the board. Don't leave those points on the board this time. Don't leave them on the board. Punch it through. Get through that. Get those points. Finish the drives. Those of you who are going, won't be me, but for those of you who are going, have a good time. And like I said, wait 30 minutes before leaving the stadium after the game is over, regardless of who wins, because I don't want to see anybody getting hurt at this game, because yeah. So that's gonna do it for me. Please throw a like on the video and please subscribe. Please subscribe. We are 1 subscriber away. 1 away from Pinball's number of 31 subscribers. If we can get that would be amazing. It doesn't cost you a damn thing. Just hit the button. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Just hit the button, please. Just one. And then we can move on to getting even higher after that. So that's all it's going to be for me this week. We'll talk again later. We'll talk again later next week for another Upon Sober review. And we'll talk again next week. Have a good one.